All right, what's up, guys? Welcome to this week's episode of Mark and Kendra Unscripted Comeback Stories. We're going to add that little piece to it.
Yeah, I love that, comeback stories.
Yeah, so you were asking me this morning about what we want to do, what we want to talk about. We had a topic, and the topic is I want to go unfiltered. It might be a little longer than 20 minutes, 30, depending this time, right?
Sure.
And we've talked about what we've been through, but we never really kind of talked about it. And what I mean by that is I held back from some of the things that I feel because I don't want to hurt people's feelings or didn't want to, but I just feel like I need to clean out my mind because it's holding me back.
Sure.
So I figured what way to do it than just talk about it.
No better way.
No better way to do it than just talk about it and let the world hear about it, because then no one can talk shit about me, right? At least because it's my truth that I'm putting out there. It might be different than somebody else's truth.
Sure.
So what I want to talk about is our journey and what we've been through just the past year, right? And we talked about it, but really talk about the failures. Because our story, as we're going to build this up, is about comeback stories, and it's going to be about stories of redemption and power. Same as the I am a comeback. That's what that means. But our story is going to never have anything to do with alcohol because we don't drink, right? Don't drink, don't do drugs, don't do anything wrong per se.
You're just crazy.
Maybe a little bit, but we make some mistakes. We make a ton of mistakes.
Yes, we do.
So this episode is going to segue into bringing other entrepreneurs in, 6, 7, 8, 9, hopefully some 10-figure entrepreneurs. I got a couple of those as well, where we can hear the stuff that they had to overcome and how they faced it and then actually won, right? Mm-hmm. But I want to talk about walking away. One thing we're talking about is walking away from every bit of family that doesn't believe in us anymore.
Yeah.
And the money that I spent, I'm just going to jump into it, right? There was a time last year, April, May, June, it was this person needs 10,000, this person needs 10,000, this person needs 10,000. And you were telling me over and over and over, yo, they're paid too much. I'm like, no, but I believe them. I know they can do it, right? I'm trying to justify my own actions, negotiating with myself, bargaining with my soul, thinking I could make people do something that I wanted them to do, yet at the same time, the very company that I was building, the very mission and movement that I was part of, I completely abandoned and alienated, which is the alcohol piece, which is what God gave us to do, which is why you've had deaths in your family, deaths in my family, brought us together. And I walk away from the one thing that historically has made $30 million, right? I made $30 million. I'm gonna go chase this other thing because of the way that I felt, but I was walking away trying to bring people with who didn't want to come with me. And the hardest thing I think that we've had to face this year is, or for me, I don't know how it is for you, is letting go of people that no longer fit the version of where I'm going, or of me, right?
Yeah.
And some of the nights, man, that we've been through, and some of the thoughts, some of the darkness, the journeys that I've been on, right? The actual plant medicine journeys and bringing the self-development and the work. Holy fuck.
In the moment when even though you've done all that self-development and all that work, when you're in the moment, specifically I feel like for us, it felt hard to call back on those moments of okay, this is what I should be practicing, this because it's so heavy in that moment. So I mean yeah, you could read all the self-development books, you could do all the medicine journeys, but when you're back in the trenches of something, maybe it's family, maybe it's overpaying, whatever it is. It just feels so heavy in that moment. And it can be difficult to be okay, I need to take a step back and breathe. And what information, how can I handle this gracefully? For me, that's how it is.
You're talking about how to solve it. What I want to talk about is the strings that you can't see, or at least that are the tentacles of just average and mediocrity and loyalty that are just so ingrained into me of all the years that no matter how hard I would go, I'd run, right? I'd run and be successful, and it's like a whiplash would pull me back.
Yeah, I think it's, and again, for you, and not to say that I mean we're in everything together, but specifically for you, you have been brainwashed, literally, and it's something we talk about often, but your whole life it was family over everything, all these different things, right? And I think that's admirable to a certain degree, but when you have a specific goal or a specific thing that you're trying to achieve, and like you're like, okay, I want to bring these people with me. I love them. They can change. I believe them like you believed in them more than they believed in them, right? And like you said, and then you're going to overpay them because you value money, and you're like, I think that they'll value money because then they're going to stay, then they're going to work hard. And I'm like, no, that's how you would operate. But anyways, I was going to say, that's how you operate. Like that was your, I think this is just a fun, like different dynamic is I was very opposite of that. It is very easy for me. And again, I draw back on life experiences. So for me, I was like, my role and my goal in our life and our relationship is to protect you. And so when I see things, and I see these things very black and white, when I see that people are taking advantage of you, right? When I see that you're overspending, when I see that the stresses, and then it's, to me, it is very black and white. And I'm like, cut these people, get rid of them, move on. You're paying too much, cut the pay, move on, right? And so for you, I know it's not that easy, or it hasn't been that easy because
but it should be, right? And that's what I want to get at, right?
But I think, where you got caught up was, it was like, if they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing, it's because of my leadership. That was so heavy in our life. You're like, it's because I'm not a good enough leader. It's because, and I was like, I love that you're doing that, but I would tell you, truly, because that's the relationship we had, I would tell you if I thought you were being a bad leader. Do I think that you're the world's greatest leader in the world? Maybe not yet. You're still learning, but I'm telling you right now that it is not you in this case. It is the people that we are bringing up, right? And so I think it's important to hear that type of like different dynamic, right? Because I bet there's a lot of guys who are like, I'm loyal to this person's been with me for this amount of time, or they've bled with me, they've done all these things with me.
But I don't even think that that's the real reason that I did it. I think that my self-worth was so low that somewhere along the way I didn't think I deserved what I have, because my entire life, so I brought people with, and I was gonna give them everything that I fucking worked for just so I could continue to work, because the only place that I could find happiness was inside of the work. Right?
Sure.
So I will give away money. Here's literally $10,000 fucking
I remember.
dollars. Here's 10,000. Like each month. There was a time we had like $90,000 a month of just payroll, or maybe it was $70,000 a month of payroll for people that weren't doing $70,000 worth of work a month for me. But what I want to talk about and what I'm trying to get right in front of the people is like, it's always me. It was me. I wasn't being a good enough leader. So even when I'm talking about it, you were looking at the way that I was leading them. I was looking at the way that I was leading me. Mm-hmm. And what I was trying to say was like, I wasn't good enough. I wasn't living me. I'm lying to myself. And then I built this world where I'm like, stop fucking lying, right? And even though I don't tell a lie, and I thought I was doing the right thing, somewhere deep down inside, I just was living in like this Rubik's Cube of just stuck. Literally paralyzed, yet taking action over everybody else we knew.
But I think you should talk about, yes, taking action, but how much harder it was to take that action when you felt so paralyzed by the money going out. No ads and everything shut off.
Yeah, we're not even on that part yet.
Yeah.
I'm not even on that part. I'm just talking about the actual self-worth and the fact that I burned through millions of dollars this year. Mm-hmm. And even when we were burning down, I was still paying people 2 months of salary. Which
pissed me off, by the way. But I understood where you had to do for yourself and for your leadership. And
because somewhere in my world, not that I care what people think, it's so fucked up. I don't care what people think, but I will never give them a reason to talk shit about me, because I always got to have one up. I have to win so bad that I'll lose just to win.
Yeah, you will.
And that's something that has to change.
I've said that many times
right?
to you.
I will lose.
I would tell you, like, you're not going to get a freaking trophy for putting yourself through the most pain and for the most suffering and for fucking putting our family or whatever.
That's a great one.
You're like, I know. I will give nobody a reason to talk shit on me or like to say that I had bad. And I was like, I get that. Again, that's very honorable. I love that about you. But I would say, like, honestly, fuck those people. Like, it's our life and our family. You've done right by them in every single way possible. They're not doing their end of the deal, right? Mm-hmm. But your mind, it was always just in your mind. You were like, no, they're not who they need to be because of me, because I wasn't a good enough leader. And I think that also makes you an exceptional leader, right? Like taking that extreme ownership, but it's also got us really in a lot of tight pinches where I'm just like, let's just.
That there was no reason, right?
No reason.
And somewhere for me, going through all of it, it's like I had to almost lose everything just to value everything.
Yeah, I mean.
Yet I value it with everything that I have. And it was almost like I was trying to prove to myself that I could do it again.
Well, whatever it was, I just remember it in the moment for me, right? Because I'm not in it like you. Like, you are the captain steering the entire company. And so you know more than me. You're involved more than me. Yes, we do it together, but you're still ultimately more involved, right? And so from the outside, I just remember, man, I felt like the answers were so obvious and so clear to me. Like, and I remember we would have these conversations, like in the bedroom, I'd be like, this is what you need to do. You are intentionally putting yourself back into this like black hole, whether you think it's because it's going to make you tougher, you love the burn and build mentality. I don't know what the F it is, but I was like, you need to stop. Mm-hmm. And, you know, and I remember like you, in those moments, you'd be like, again, it's always something about numbers, or it was always something about your leadership. And I'm like, again, honey, I would tell you if I thought you were being a terrible leader, but when it comes to people, on our team, people need to pull their own weight. People, like, and again, it's like military things, like every single person in the military, when I was in the military, it's like, yes, we all count on each other. We all need each other. And that's part of a good team. But a person who is willingly just taking and taking and taking and aiding nothing in the mission, mm-hmm. that person is a sham artist. That person doesn't belong on the team, right? And so it doesn't matter. And so I was like always telling you, like, we got quite a few people that are just happily taking, and then there's you who's like, but I gotta be a good leader, so I'm gonna carry everybody's BS. You know what, everybody, I'm drowning, but why don't you just hop on my back? Instead of telling them and like making them, hey, start kicking, start swimming, just stand up, you know what I mean? And so I remember trying to get that through your head, and I think it's just, again, brainwashed who you are. It was like, Mark has to carry the weight. Mark has to figure it out. Mark has to shoulder your responsibility. You don't want to lose. You don't want anybody to talk bad about you. It was always like you, which usually I would say is probably what people don't do to a fault. They don't accept extreme ownership. But for you, it's always extreme ownership.
I think what has been the biggest eye opener for me to realize that was not the right way to handle it, was that when the people stopped being paid, or even while they were paid, the rumblings behind my back, they were still talking shit about me anyways as they're getting paychecks, and then telling people bad things about us that weren't even true.
Which is just ignorance on their part. It is
that
old saying.
But what I'm saying though is like, I was able to look at this and be like, dude, I see what I did for you for the first time, and you completely just don't even appreciate it. I watched Billy Graham, or listened to a Billy Graham YouTube this morning. I've been watching or listening to YouTube every morning while you're sleeping at 4 a.m. And he was just talking about people that you won't help, right? And there's complainers and victims, all this type of things. He was talking about people who will take and take and take, and it is never enough.
100%.
And somehow I've surrounded myself with family and team that is exactly what they get, and it's a me thing. So as much as you're saying it's not me, it is me.
Well, going into that way, I think we've had this conversation again, like this deep-seated breaking you down is everything in your life, your businesses, your relationships with certain family members or people. It was always so transactional. It was never like the concept to you of just having unconditional love or having an unconditional friendship, where it was like, no, dude, I don't want anything from you but your friendship. To you, that is inconceivable. To you, that has always been inconceivable. And so when I'm like trying to point out to you that your relationships with people is only based off of transactions, right. You've always carried that into your life, where it was like, okay, well, I'm going to pay them, and then they're going to be happy, and then they're going to stay, and then they're going to work, and I'm going to get what I want. And it's just, again, it was a very.
I mean, it's not until today that I was today years old. You ever see those posts?
Yeah.
Right? I was today years old when I realized that the entire team will probably be gone in the next 6 months.
And
because they're just not going where I'm trying to go. And I remember standing in a foyer being spoke to by somebody. He's like, the hardest thing you're gonna do is have to face somebody. Then you send me that Grant Cardone video today, right? But I think, since I want to be on, like, what do we have to come back from? Like that one thing right there, to continue to pay and pay and pay and pay. Like, I should have stopped 3 or 4 months before I decided to make the decision. And in those 3 or 4 months, I literally burned through $1 million
Yeah.
and not one thank you. That was it. Like literally not one thank you. As a matter of fact, after they wanted more.
And then proceeded to talk smack.
And then I've not really been on the internet since July.
Yeah, that's true.
Right? I said I came here, there was no air conditioning here, it was freaking hot as hell. And I rebuilt the entire company in 90 days on my back without anybody, only to be shut down again by Facebook. Went 2 months with no ads, burned through another $1 million,
Yep.
no income coming in, all on my own, to then rebuild it again, December, January, now in February. I literally almost went out of business 4 times this year.
Oh, I know.
But every single time, I fucking carried it on my back. Millions of dollars as one man.
And it was very, very difficult. There was a lot of nights of
I mean, I got up
not
today while you were
sleeping,
sleeping. I made
anxiety,
$25,000
crying.
before you even got out of bed today.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm doing every freaking day, right? Like what it takes to do that. So I want people to understand, like most of the problem, I'm gonna talk about a couple different things, but this one problem I created was the loyalty that I had and the love for people that didn't love me damn near fucking ruined me. And it was in my own world that I kept thinking I could buy love.
yeah,
No matter
buy
what.
loyalty,
Buy loyalty,
love,
buy love.
buy hard work, buy all these
And
things.
if you let these people, and it sounds so stupid because we've said it many times, I know it, but if you let people do that, they will take and they will take and they will take until they have nothing.
Yes.
But it was because I wanted to prove to everybody that I'm the fucking man. Or not, I don't know if it's everybody or what it was. It was somewhere deep inside of me.
Yeah.
So that was one problem. I had another problem, I think that was another $250,000 mistake was if you don't have the right coach or you buy into coaching, they don't deliver on said coaching.
Yeah, it's extremely difficult.
And then you spend a lot of time after you spent the money trying to justify the money that you spent instead of just calling a spade and be like, I knew more than this person the whole time.
Yeah.
But I might not have as big of a brand. And what do you tell me all the time?
Bigger isn't better, better is better.
Bigger isn't better, better is better. But that one still stings every day. Not
Yep.
the money. Like, how could I be so stupid?
Yeah, honestly, I that one doesn't bother me so much.
Bothers me because I know how good I am now.
Yeah, I think maybe that for me it was an immediate learning lesson where yeah, it stings losing that much cash because it was cold hard cash. I remember it was like you gave me the decision and you were like, okay, should we do this? And I got sold and I was like, yes, like I really felt in a strong position that we're going to see some back end stuff. We're really going to be able to help our company grow because it wasn't a leadership thing. You know, it wasn't like where people are like, oh, I wanted to pay for the leadership, and it was no, like it was truly more of like a tactical, and then to not get that, I felt a little, I don't know, I tried to just let it roll off my back where I was like, wow, that was a really hefty mistake, but like I can't sit and dwell on this because they're not going to deliver. They literally can't deliver. They don't know, like they just don't know, you know? And so I was like, okay, chalk that up as don't ever get beanboozled again. Trust in yourself more, have more confidence in the fact that you do know more, you know? And so that one didn't.
And I think that, well, it bothers me just because I wanted it to work. And I think the amount of justification that I made to be like, something I did, right?
Yeah.
Right? Like,
And it's very easy to do that because of your personality.
Going back into like with the situation with all the people here, like, well, I couldn't really participate because they didn't want to participate. So it's my fault because I didn't let the team go, blah, blah, blah. But the reality was like, I got 8 years or 10 years of building one single offer in one single world that I created that nobody knows better than me. And I just didn't want to recognize it. I literally know it. And I was just being a freaking idiot.
Yeah.
Right? Instead of doing what works. And I think there's something to be said before we talk about ads. For anybody out there that's building a business, this shiny object syndrome, I think, is what it was, right? Like, oh, I should be doing this, I should be doing that. That's another fucking distraction. Like doing the comeback creative, bringing myself full of clients that they all quit. They all quit on themselves. You may have made some money, but they didn't do the work, they didn't do what was required, and it took me off of the mindset that I had to build my company. So I literally took everything that I built, that we built together, and I set it over on the side and didn't nurture it, didn't take care of it, didn't do anything with it.
Yeah.
And try to build, I built 2 other companies on top of rebuilding this one 4 times in 12 months.
Yeah.
Like that's how much work that I did this year.
I think
as one person.
And I think it's important too, because I always prided myself on this, and I learn as I go. So I try not to beat myself up too much, because I didn't go to college for any of this stuff, right? I literally learned everything about business from you and learning each other and growing this life. But anyways, I was going to say, for the wives out there, if your husband is like my husband, it's so important as the wife or your second or whoever, like whatever, to like keep your person anchored in what the mission is. And so I'm going to take responsibility for Comeback Creative and these things, because I should have said, no, babe, like this, like let's stay focused on this right now, because here's, and this is just what I learned. It was like anything you want to launch, anything you want to do, it's going to work. And it's going to probably work really freaking well, but that doesn't mean we should do it. What we should have done is locked it, doubled down, stayed focused on this, and so and I had to learn that about myself, like saying, hey.
It comes down to though, like why we wouldn't focus was because the main reason that the year was so hard, and which was the ads were shut down. It was like every 90 days my ads would get shut down, or we'd get freaking banned, or I'd have to rebuild something. And it was like,
which was a massive learning part from us. I was like, this is why we cannot be, excuse my French, but like one-dimensional douchebags. Why are we not doing multiple different platforms on all these things? We just got caught with our pants down. Ads are shut off, burning through cash. What do we do? That was so scary.
I mean, it still is scary. I still don't know if I have the right answer, but I have a better answer than I did. And we still don't have all platforms going, right? This is what this is about. That's what the rest of the stuff is about. But I mean, we shut down, 30 times in 8 years, but this year stung. And it was at the point where I was finally like, dude, enough is enough. And that's when I started making the pivots. That's where Comeback Creative came from. That's when I started trying to do these things. That's when I brought a sales team in. That's when I invested in coaches. I started to build something that wasn't in my vision. I didn't stay on the mission. So all of these things were stemmed off of one thing, which I couldn't keep the ads on. Yeah. Right? But what would get me all the time is the success rate, the men that we help. Like when it works really, really, really good. But that one problem, I would say, every time we get shut down, we've got to rebuild. I would say it probably cost at least freaking $30 million over the years. Yeah. Maybe 60, right? Mm-hmm. Every time you shut down, every time you shut down, every time you shut down. And I think there is something to be said for pushing through these things, which is what all entrepreneurs need to do. Is like, one thing I did learn this year was like, I won't quit. But quitting doesn't always look like you stay on the thing, but on the same path. But holy shit, man, this year, there was times I was like, dude, I'll go sell for John Madsen. Yeah. Right? Or I'll go.
You're like, you know what, Alex Hermosi just put a thing up. You're like, I'm going to go sell for him. I'll make, and like, I'm never going to have to stress another day in my life, because I'm ready to have a freaking heart attack.
And people talk about wanting to build a business. They want to build some big stuff. And I think I remember talking to Ian at the gym. I know it was Evan in the gym. And I told him how many times we shut down. I was like, bro, we never had that much resistance. Kind of like chuckled about it. Oh yeah, but I thought you guys had to overcome all this stuff, comeback kid shit, right? Like the reality is, man, I've been down I've been down and out more than I've been winning. And when I finally catch this thing to win, I'm gonna smoke everybody.
Yeah, and I believe in that too, and I believe in that of you. And let me tell you something too. And this
Not just because I say I do.
And this is also from like a wife perspective too, and I'll take credit for this portion. Take credit. You get to take credit for no matter how bad things got. I never once doubted whether we were going to be okay or whether we were going to be taken care of. Like I never had to worry about that though. So that's like kudos and credit to you. But when you have a husband who you are truly like an equal in all things within your relationship and in your marriage, and you don't hide the business struggles from me, and I see it and you wear it, and I love that, because then I know how to better serve you, better help you, right? And so, but I take the credit for all of the nights where you are like ready to just burn, like your head is ready to explode. You want to just like break down in tears. You can't sleep. The frustration, the stress, like your eyes literally just like, just immense amount of stress, right? And one thing I always did for you is say, we're going to be okay. Like, we're going to be good. You're the best. Hey, right now I know it's hard, but if anybody can do it, it's you. And did I know, like at the time, did I even believe it? I don't know. I was like, but you know what I know is not going to help? me telling him to quit, me telling him to stop, because it was scary. And I was like, crap, I'm smart enough to know that this is very serious. Okay? But I know what's not going to help Kendra is if you tell him he sucks or this is a bad decision. Every night I would just be like, you're still a great leader. We're going to get through this. We're still good. We still have the kids. If we got to start back at zero, we'll be fine, you know? And
I think what's super important to notice, not just to like talk about how tough I am or whatever, but never once that I didn't lie, I didn't cheat,
no,
I didn't go drink, I didn't do drugs, right? I didn't do anything other than just stay the course every single day. I might have pivoted and got a little lost on the vision.
Yeah.
But I kept working.
Always.
I kept working. I kept making progress every day. I'd go up and then I'd go back. And I'm still going up.
I was going to say, and sometimes it was like 2 steps forward progress. And then it'd be the next day, you'd be like, freaking A, I'm 30 steps backwards. And I'd be like, hey, listen, you're fine. Like, we're good. And you'd be like, are we? Next day, it'd be like a half a step. Okay, next day's 10 step backwards again. And you're like, all I can do is go forward.
What is today right now? Today's Thursday?
Yeah.
And I was expecting to have like 300,000 more in our accounts than what we have. And I think we got $8,000.
Yeah.
Right? Which was still owed to me. Still owed to us out there, but I didn't get it.
Yeah.
That, like, it's still every single day. It's not just 10, like,
yeah.
It comes down to what do you really want to build, right? These numbers just get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, but the stress is always the same.
Yeah.
Right? There's not more stress. If you got a $100 bill due and you only got $10, it's the same as having a $5,000 bill due and having $4,000. It's the same fucking thing. You're still stressed. The number's just the number because your ability and capacity to be able to operate at that level is just expanding, right?
Yeah.
It's just higher. But at the end of the day, man, things still aren't where I want them to be. And I think that's what I've really come to terms with is like, this is what it looks like to go to 9 figures. And I'm finally realizing all of the stuff I went through last year was because I wouldn't let go of the people around me.
And the biggest lesson in all of it.
This is coaches, this is clients, this is family, this is friends, it's everybody.
And I was going to say, and honestly, this is like, we could have wrapped this entire podcast up, but you needed some context for it. The biggest lesson that you and I came to like, this is it, is we're just not good enough yet.
100%.
We're just not good enough. And
we're not doing enough and we're just not good enough.
We're not doing enough and we're just not good enough. And honestly, that was a relief to me to like hear that, where I was like, oh, okay, I'm not good enough, so I can get better. You know, like I still have, in my mind, I'm like, I still have so much to learn. But if I could get through all of that, with you, I was like, to me, that was very bad. And it really, really, really sucked. But I was like, dang, if we can get through that, like, go us. Because what can't we do now, you know?
So you got the internet on that thing over there? Yeah? How many businesses make over $1 million a year? Like what percentage? Can you look that up real quick? I think that's the top 1%.
What is 1 million a year?
Do over $1 million. It's either 1 or 3 million. Let's see what he says. You can just leave this rolling when inside there too. Putting you on the spot.
Tech skills.
I would just already talk to my phone to ChatGPT, who called me Billy, by the way. I got on there last night and my ChatGPT called me Billy.
Oh,
hey, Billy.
No. Bailey told me that she called your ChatGPT named Billy.
Okay.
Because she asked me today, she's like, what's your ChatGPT name? I said Daisy. And she's like, I call Dad's Billy.
Okay.
So it's 9% of U.S. small businesses generate over $1 million in annual revenue.
Okay, so 9%. So we'll call it 10% hit $1 million. How many hit 10 million? So 10% of 330 million, or how many different, 30 million businesses? So 10% do $1 million, which is not many, right?
And then 10 million is 1%.
1%, right? And that's where we bounce at that 1%. So that number gets so fucking low when you get up here.
What did we say the other day?
Well, I'm getting to that, right? So my point is, when we're talking about this stuff, and there's people out there that are doing it, I never recognized how great I was, only to realize how small I was.
Yeah, that was it.
Because we bounce at that, right at that $10 million, trying to get to $20 million, right? 20, 25, $30 million. But I realized that all of this stuff I'm going through, I cannot get to where I'm going. I thought it was me. I thought I could fucking push through this thing. but it's the structure, it's the team, it's the people around me. I have to let everybody go. It makes no sense for me that all the problems I had this year was because I'm supposed to go to 20, but to get to 20, I have to kill everything and not start over, but systematize it and get better people.
Yeah.
And when I'm already like, I can't live on $1 million a year. We can't function. We go out of business if we only do 1 million. We're sort of smoked, right? 10 million, we can make some money, we do okay. But we're trying to get from 10 to 20, 20 to 50, 20 to 100. And when we get down here, I realize how broke I really am.
Yeah, that was our conversation in the car the other day.
Like how broke I really am.
When you're like, dang, if we do this well, but dang, we're still so far away from what actual like real money is in our opinion, right?
And when I look at the problems that I was trying to handle this past year, I was trying to have 100, nine-figure goals with a 6-figure team.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right? A 6-figure process, not even 7.
Yeah.
Right? 6-figure work ethic, 6-figure mindsets, all of this stuff around me. And I was growing and growing and growing, and it just fell apart. And then,
which is obvious now looking back that of course it would fall
apart. It was not
apart.
obvious at the time.
It wasn't,
It was not obvious. And you would think it would be, but it was not obvious. But the fact that I wouldn't let go of all of that stuff, yet I talk about it every day, I still thought I was different.
Yep. Yeah. And that's the thing. Like, we're going to share this, and people are going to hit home, and they're going to be like, oh, I would never make those mistakes or whatever. But it's not, it's all in the name of growth. It's all in the name of trying to grow. And that's why people stop, and that's why people quit, because they're like, you take loss after loss, hit after hit after hit. And it truly is the last man standing.
You just got to outlast your problems.
You have to
gotta
outlast
your problems.
And it's actually something that, and I was just thinking about it, but do you remember when we had to spin up example?
Mm-hmm.
And we were doing all these interview questions, and I remember a very specific interview question you asked me, and you said, what are you afraid of? Do you remember this?
I do, standing in the kitchen.
Okay, so I was basically like, I am afraid of success, right? And I wasn't talking about the boats and the cars and the houses and these lovely things, right? I wasn't talking about that. But in that moment, I love the answer that I gave, because I said I was afraid of the work ethic that it takes because at that time, and we were in the heat of it, and we were in we were literally in the pit. I had watched you every single day work 18, 19 hours, claw, paralyzed, then like, okay, like we said, half a step forward, 30 steps back. And I thought to myself in that moment, I am terrified of that, because I don't think I'm built for that. Mm-hmm. If that's what it takes to be hit and to lose millions of dollars, to start from negative millions, and then to have to claw your way back, and then guess what? You get to start at 0. I was like, I don't think, I'm terrified of that, right? And so and that sticks with me, because
and to me, I don't understand how to live. That's the only way I know how to live.
And I love that about us, because that was such a truthful answer for me, where I was like, man, I am not built like you, right? I don't ever think I'm supposed to be. But in that moment, I wish we could find that clip and bring it up, because that answer is a direct reflection of exactly what we were going through at that time, where it was like, oh my gosh, I'm watching my husband take hit after hit. We're literally doing terribly. Things are shut down. Money is flying out the window. And I was like, this is terrifying, right? Yeah. But for you, I'm sure you would have given a completely different answer, which I loved, but I don't know where I was going to go with that, but it just popped into my mind.
I do think there's something to be able to acknowledge that people should listen to. The fact that I'm still standing here is because we don't outlive our financial means, right? If we're going to give like the fact, I worked my ass off, but I had the cash to make sure we didn't go out of business. I'm not like some internet guy who they're saying they got some money. I had fucking money to be able to do it. And now, we still got money, but like not what it was.
Not what it was. Yeah, I think that's a massive, massive important lesson, because I'm 34.
That's the companies that grow.
Yes.
Like the companies that, like, I'm not a fucking idiot. I didn't go out and spend it. So our growth is coming. I want to share this. Everything about my life this year that sucked and we're coming back from has been the hardest and the greatest year of my entrepreneur journey.
Yeah, it's been the biggest. Yeah.
It's been the most growth. It's been the most headaches. It's been the most problems, but it's been the most eye-opening. I finally, like this past 2-3 weeks, have become a real, in my opinion, 9-figure entrepreneur. don't have the cash yet.
I mean,
but I
you are
completely
so locked in.
understand right now that it is not going to be on my effort that gets me there.
Mm-hmm.
My best people I have not met yet. Systems matter. My energy matters more than my ability to call one person at a time. Having 30 people call people, and me leading the people, it just like something clicked.
Yep.
And I know that'll take us to the next level, and then I'm gonna have a whole bunch of new problems.
Yep.
Right? I know that's coming.
wait.
But why I wanted to share this for us is because throughout the whole entire year, I no longer have a relationship with my brother. The team that was around me, it's not that I'm mad at my brother, but there's just no relationship. Things didn't work out. It sucks. The team, some of the people, they hate me.
Yep.
But at the end of the day, I like me.
And isn't that so important?
It is.
I like you too.
It is. It is, and it's. I think it comes down to like, what do you want, right? Like, I'm finally answering the question that I tell people: Who are you? What do you want? Why do you want it? Right? Like, what do I really want? And for the first time in my life, man, it's. I've said the things, but I have not been able to feel the things. Now that I feel the things are now mine. And I'm not talking about the house, the boat, the car, the wife. I'm talking about the feeling of what it takes to have the life that I want. I know how to work. I know how to hustle. I know how to grind. I know how to I can make $5 million myself as one person. We're always going to be okay because my ability to sell does not matter. Fucking phenomenal salesperson. But what I finally realized was that I'm the one and I'm the reason that we're so small.
Yep.
Compared to everybody else who looks like I'm God, right? In my circle, or like, because we are in the top 1% or 0.001%, so everyone thinks I'm fucking great. I'm comparing myself for the first time to not these other online coaches that are doing stuff, because I think it's all smoke and mirrors, to like real business owners.
Yeah. You just had a conversation last night with one.
To the guys that have done something, to the guys that I coach, to my network of guys that are worth 9, 10 figures, that don't go on the internet. They do things differently. And for me, I'm like, okay, dude, you spent too much time down here in this circus. Right, thinking that everybody's friends on the internet, being friendly and fucking doing this stuff, but it was a waste of time. Necessary, but a waste of time.
Necessary, we grew from it, right?
And what's cool about it is, like, when I look at my company now, or like the brand that we built, but like my company that I started, the company we built together, it is, in my opinion, it's no longer just an online company.
Yeah.
Right? I literally bring people to the gym, and I'm talking to companies that are 140 years old, consulting on those.
Yes.
There's so much has changed. I guess the whole point of this thing here is that I wanted to quit almost every single day.
Yes, you did.
This year. Talked about it, thought about it. It's a low vibrational, negative energy. But sometimes it's all you can think about, right? So maybe you guys might go through this too, where like things aren't working the way you want. You want to quit, you want to quit, you want to quit. It's okay to want to quit. You just can't quit. That's it. You just can't. And on my days that I didn't want to do it, what did I do? I just fucking did it.
I'm going to say you literally just did it.
I just did it.
Some days you didn't know what you had to do or what you were going to do, but you just did it.
And it's not just a journey of creating cash or building business. It's complete self-exploration and becoming somebody new.
My favorite thing.
Not just talking about it and lifting weights to look different. It's all mental.
My favorite part of being your wife and watching. Well, yeah, there's a lot of amazing things anyways, but this one specific thing is I absolutely love watching you transform. The business is cool, that grows, but like watching you become like a self-master in yourself, because you were so messed up before. Like when I met you.
Be careful what you say here.
No, you were wonderful. You were always wonderful to me. I think I said that before. Like you're like the nicest person, but you had so many things. You're just a complete, like you were literally like the caterpillar, right? And now I'm like watching you turn into a butterfly, like self-mastery, really taking the time now for like the first time in your life, and not just like pushing and bulldozing and like Tasmanian devil your way through. You really take the time. And is it perfect? No, right? But I love watching you reflect. I love watching you say, okay, there's always another way to handle something. There's always another way to view something. There's always another level. And I love watching like this softer, more masterful side of you come out, right? And you still have, the rage days and the days where you're like, oh, I just got a wrecking ball through it. And I'm like, that's one way. But this version of you is just so cool. And like you just said, like, cool. Hey, cool.
So cool.
But that's probably where I get the most pride and where I see the most change in yourself. Yeah, the numbers and stuff are cool. Like, love watching you do your thing. I love watching you take pride in that. And I love watching, like, I just love watching you do your thing. But watching you, where it's like, dang, 8 years ago, Mark, you would have, you couldn't even comprehend any of this stuff. And now you're like turned into this like masterful philosophical leader. It's just incredible, like watching that. So I just want you to know
It'll
that.
be interesting to see where it goes in 2026, 2027 and beyond, right? I mean, I'm on a really, really focused, I'll be 46 on June 10th, right? I told you last night, I said, we're not coming up for air. Every dollar that I make, I'm investing right back in, plan on being broke the next 4 months, right? Because I'm going to try to get it to 2 million a month by June. And it's going to require every bit of capital we have. And that's like, somebody's like, you're fucking nuts. Yeah, but what if it works?
That's what, hey, listen,
Right,
I've bet on you this far. So when you tell me that this is what we got to do, I'm like, all right, I put all my chips on you every time.
I told James that. He said, well, what's ad spend going to be for February? I said, I'm not thinking about February. I'm thinking about the next 120 days, right? I said, every dollar that I make, I'm going to put in until we have more money than we don't have enough closers. We have to skin it back. So if that's $20,000 to $30,000 a day or whatever that looks like, if we can get to that point with everything, I'm putting it all in, because maybe 2 million is too small. Maybe it's 4, right? I don't know where it's going to go, but I know that if I consistently compound that every day, I put the money in and I build the team, and I put the money, I build the team, I put the money, I build the team. Every mistake that I made in 2025 is completely erased, and then some. And it literally changes my last name forever.
Yeah. Not
just kind of made a cool little business, but it can literally change the generations to come.
Generations.
That's it for this week's episode of Mark and Kendra Unscripted. I'll see you guys next week.